I'm an ex-army brick medic. That is, my regiment had groups of 4 men, of which one had to be a signaller, one had to be a sniper or a machine gunner, but one had to be a medic, and I did the medic side. Now, with having a mother that was a midwife and a father that was a doctor, it's obvious why I went into the medical field. I started nursing in 1966 when I came out of the army, married a sister at the hospital where I was training. We had 2 children. I had to pack it up because the salaries weren't high enough for keeping a family of 4. I had to go out to the industrial side of medicine, and I worked for the people who do tubular bandages. I worked for people with pacemakers. I sold the first lasers that came into the country, but I always had the intention of going back and finishing and getting my SRN. Unfortunately, I spent 5 years raising the money, and when I got back, I had to do another 2.5 years, which was basically starting from scratch. I did it, qualified, became a theatre charge nurse, operating with ear, nose and throat, eyes, mainly miniaturized stuff, keyhole surgery. I worked with some pretty brilliant surgeons, which was a joy. But unfortunately, I'd been a paratrooper when I was in the army, and I'd injured my back, and my back went after I'd been doing it for 2.5 years, and I had to stop and virtually retired on disability grounds. So I've spent a lot of time in a wheelchair. I've thought it's cost a lot of money to train me with what I was doing. So I like to think that by aiding future generations of nurses, I'm giving some of the money back. I heard about MMU by a lady who had been previously coming here, who was on committees with me, Alwyn Fish. She introduced me to MMU, and I've been coming now 3 times. I see it as a way to influence future generations of nurses and of medical professionals. I like to teach a little bit. When I was in the army, I taught German language, and that gave me a taste for teaching, and I like to do a bit of it. And again, it's helping in some way, I think, I hope. So far, I've attended 2 meetings and the teaching meeting that was last week. Apart from that, I haven't done very much so far. I hope to do more. It basically was what we'd done in the past, what we fancied doing in the future. I think mainly it was to see where we could be of assistance to the training staff. I would like very much to talk to the new generation of nurses and of medical staff on caring. I was involved when I was training at Crumsall in doing a small booklet on how to deal with death in different religions and what had to be done and how the person had to be cared for. It started out with one excuse me, started out with one case, and I researched that one case, and then I was asked to research a bit more, and I ended up with this booklet that I and a doctor put together. I would think it would go under caring, which I want to talk to them about. It's the last thing you can do for somebody that you care for or caring for. It's the last service that you can do. I believe it should be done properly and with respect. And I'd like to teach that to students.